commentaries for Star Wars Visions. I'm here with Lon and Danielle, and we are going to go through all 9 visions that we had as part of a group mescaline experience. But it turned out that Star Wars adapted them into anime. That's fun. We'll show you some deleted scenes if we have any. Not sure if we do actually this week. We'll respond to questions and comments from viewers like yourselves. Keep those coming in the chat. Then we'll tease you with next week's Honest Trailer, which we are actually debating just before we started shooting. So,
I think we should tease them with both options. Like we're debating this clue versus
or that clue. Well, I'll need help coming up with a clue. So you guys I'll have that on the back burner. And then we can just touch briefly on Star Wars Visions, because what is there to say besides like it's 9 different Japanese approaches to Star Wars, and some of them are pretty neat and some of them aren't as neat. What do you guys think about the whole experience?
Mostly liked it. Like it was, I don't know. I always find anytime you can give me Star Wars that's not like full of Skywalkers, I'm super psyched about it, because I always want to like get to see what the rest of the universe might look like. It's still incredibly Jedi heavy, but it's also like, look, if I got to write a Star Wars, I'm putting in some Jedi. Like, of course you are. They're Jedi. It's fun. They're magical space wizards. But for the most part, like, I mean, here's the thing. What's great about it is that, like, if you don't like one, it's over in like 15 minutes, and then you might like the next one. So yeah, for the most part, I mean, and even then, the ones that I was like meh about, it was just meh. It wasn't any of those were like, F this is the worst thing I've ever seen. They're either like a 5 on a scale to 10, or they're like a 9 on a scale to 10. I feel like that's doing really good for an anthology.
Yeah. Working 5 to 9. It's a good zone.
I would go so far as to say, they're mostly good. Like it's a better average than I sort of would have expected going in, where I figure I'd like some and not like the others. Like I think for the most part, it's funny though. It's totally subjective. Like I don't think one is objectively the best and another is objectively not as well done. It very much relies on like what kind of animation styles do you like. What kind of aspects of the Star Wars universe or characters are you most into?
Are you a baby?
Are you right? So like for me,
baby.
Like for me, the Tatooine Rhapsody, we're a band and we're playing for both. Like I know a lot of people, it's like their favorite one. Like that one didn't play for me at all. It felt like
I like the concept, but as soon as the music starts,
I just like I wasn't that into like Joseph Gordon-Levitt serenading me with Paramore songs. I was like, shouldn't there be laser?
You're saying a lot of words I like. I know. First of all, Black people love Paramore. No one knows why.
Yeah, it's weird.
Black people love, and it's like, and I don't know. And I find Joseph Gordon, I still find him delightful. Tatooine Rhapsody was easily my favorite one.
Right.
I think it's just because it's so weird.
That's the bottom of my list. Like, oh man,
I think it's just so weird.
I feel like, but I don't think it's objectively bad. I just think was not my taste, and like my favorites were, obviously not. Like I thought the Ninth Jedi was awesome, and that's not some other people's taste. So I think that overall it was a really well done series, and there's things to recommend about every one of them, even the ones that weren't my personal fans.
All right. Well, we know that's what you guys are here for. Let's say nice things about Star Wars. Roll them visions. We'll pause after each one.
From the company
that'll be like our only
intro.
Like
Star Wars, so they put a little Star Wars on the Star Wars Hub, so you can watch Star Wars before the next Star Wars comes out. Comes what any responsible content factory would do, and outsources the job to Asia in these non-canon Japanese short films that would all make for a better movie trilogy than the one we just got.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
And yes, I'm including the furry episode. In fact, especially the furry episode. Here are all 9 animated shorts from Star Wars Visions.
Well, pause. I mean, look, it's easier to make a compelling 15 minutes than it is, 8 hours total of cinema. But I guess I'm just excited to get away from the Skywalker saga, which probably wouldn't be the next film trilogy anyways. But I stand by that. It's a little hyperbolic, but I think that the grounds are there for more interesting stories in pretty much every single one of these than what we got. What, agree, disagree?
Very few things have ever been made better by being longer.
True.
Like you think about, I don't know, you think about like a good sketch that you like, and you're like, do I want it to be like a tight 3 to 5 minutes, or do I want it to go on for 2 hours?
Sometimes there's things that I'm really liking, and like I will parse out episodes or pages of a book or something because I don't want it to end. But yeah, generally you want to start the story as late as possible and end it as early as possible, like in the events that you're describing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one thing that the movies always get kind of hung up on or have to do, depending on your opinion, is like recreating the scenarios and mirroring that original movie and that original trilogy kind of over and over again. Like Force Awakens is sort of a reboot of New Hope, and they're always trying like, oh, is the second one going to be this trilogy's Empire? And when you're doing stuff like Visions, you just the freedom from that. Like you can reference and bring in this character or that one, but it doesn't feel like this has to feel like Return of the Jedi. And movies sometimes, even the Rogue Ones and the Solos, kind of fall into that of like, well, this should feel like this dynamic from this movie or this scene from this movie. And there is that here. I mean, the very first short in this collection, there's like a scene where they're having a lightsaber battle on a log as it goes down a river approaching a waterfall, and it's very Star Wars.
The old reverse Mustafar or whatever.
Yeah, right. It's like it's super Star Warsy, but like you could pick and choose your moments as opposed to having it feel like, well, this movie has to be basically a 2-hour homage to this movie.
Yeah. It almost makes you wonder what Star Wars would be like if it wasn't a carefully crafted, meticulously managed IP, and like anyone could come along and tell a story in this world.
Right. Yeah. It's like all these franchises have to be two things. They're this setting and platform for storytelling, but then they're also like a brand that you have to have your like brand identity and like keep, like it has to feel consistent in that way. And so it's like always a balance. Like,
can we do like Star Wars? Like, can we just make a generic like X brand Star Wars, like Tolkien? Like, people tell stories with orcs and elves and dwarves and stuff like that, and his estate isn't suing every high fantasy novel out of existence. Like, can we just call them Dejai and Pith?
There's lots of space fantasy. You could write a Star Warsian space fantasy and just make up new names, and you'd legally be okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll get
plenty of authors.
Just read fan fiction. Just read fan fiction.
Or there you go.
Nice. All right. Keep playing.
From the studio that's probably going to make Optimus Prime a Shogun next comes a General Grievous level circle jerk of influences in this Kurosawa-influenced Star Wars, influenced by the Star Wars most influenced by Kurosawa.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
Where a Ronin battles Lucy Liu for the fate of a small feudal village, but only after his droid gets hurt. He couldn't give a shit before that. How dare you? That droid was wearing a hat. Ronin Holiday.
Pause. I don't know, not much to say. That one was really cool. A good way to start it off.
It was the animation on this one.
Oh my God. Like that charcoal-y style was so good. Yeah, it was such a great way to start this off. A kudos. It turns out the people that make movies can sometimes be and make things are really good at picking out stuff. Yeah, this was one of my favorites. Like I really liked it. Also, droid with a hat.
Droid with a hat. Also, have you guys seen that Zhang Yimou Chinese movie Shadow?
No.
It's like one of those big wuxia, like Crouching Tiger, like epic martial arts thing. But there's a whole battle scene where a bunch of guys have these like umbrella weapons where they're like spinning them around, and so it can deflect things, but they can also like throw daggers using them and like hit you with them and whatever. And it obviously that move, like there's no way the people who made this were not thinking of that with the umbrella lightsaber. It's such a cool way to repurpose that idea and that weapon in a new way that feels Star Warsy, but also like nothing else you've seen in Star Wars exactly. And it was awesome. Super.
And it gives
just like normally I don't like the too many lightsabers kind of a thing. Like I think like like General Grievous is kind of like General Grievous. Well, there's just like a lot of like I don't know.
There's diminishing returns. Like
just dude on I just like dude on dude.
Less.
Yeah, it's like the same thing with wrestling. I just like two dudes fighting it out. But this umbrella, like I really dug it. I thought it was great. Yeah, it was like genuine.
I also like that the Jedi that leaves it to the guy like who helped him in the town. Like, there you go. This like, what's he gonna do with it? It's like some weird. It's like an extension for a lightsaber. Off, It's like you're leaving him a lightsaber accessory.
Fresh wheat.
This seems useless.
it took me back to original trilogy vibes where they will allude to stuff and characters will drop hints, or there will be mysteries that aren't immediately explained by two people sitting in a room and talking out, or a presentation, or a piece of, or a lore book or something like that. That said, there is a novel, a novelization of this short that's out now or out soon, to tell you, oh, why would a Sith fight other Sith? Oh, here's everything you need to know. But I liked the mystery. I feel like that's something that's missing from everything new in Star Wars. Or The Mandalorian kind of has it, but the answer is usually Luke Skywalker. All right, let's keep going. Number 2.
In a world where the most popular music on the planet is called jizz,
every excuse
for the only genre that's even less appealing, mid-2000s pop punk. In this extremely straightforward story about a band that gets broken up by Chibi Boba Fett and immediately reunites, because any more story would take time away from Joseph Gordon-Levitt's singing. Come on and shout it out! See, this is what happens when an anime doesn't get 8 minutes of opening credits. They just drop it into the episode. Blink 2187.
Yeah, it was the song. Like, if you're gonna build so much around like Tenacious D, the greatest song in the world or whatever, like, you better deliver. And I don't think they deliver. I'm just not buying that pop punk existed back then. It sounded so similar to like an Orange County band, and it wasn't even a good version of that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's just like, I just like it because it's so weird, and I really want weird. Like this weird band to succeed. But it definitely is like, if this is the song that saves the universe, it should be a better song.
It should be better, yeah. And that was it. Like, I liked the premise. I liked the setup. I think a band, and a touring band in the Star Wars universe, it's like being hunted down, and it's like a Padawan and the Hutt's fail son or whatever that guy was doing. And I just want the music to be better. If it's going to be like literally a musical, just don't suck.
Yeah, I feel like I've complained before in the past about, like, everybody in Star Wars, you only have like 3 jobs. You're like a mechanic, you're a smuggler, you're a stormtrooper,
bounty hunter, or
the bounty hunter. Like, that's it. There's really like, and so musician is like a thing we haven't really explored that much. But it does make you wonder, like, well, how did these guys just created this whole wing of music completely on their own? We've never heard any other music in the Star Wars universe that sounds anything like this. It's all like jazz and new age and like weird space jazz. We've never heard. I don't even think there's ever been like
Cantina band, and there's
Max Rebo. He's got keyboards. Max Rebo.
Scene kids have to exist in the Star Wars universe, and that's what it was.
Guitar in Star Wars history, like, I think it is.
I think it's just literally them being like, "This isn't your daddy's music," and it just like sounds different. To us, we're used to it, but in the world of Star Wars, they're very much like, "Well, now I want to cut my hair and dye it black."
Yeah.
You know,
you okay? You guys might not be ready for that, but your younglings are gonna love it.
Yeah, Sum 41 has ancient roots, ancient galactic roots. Okay, let's move on.
Get ready for an episode that feels like it was inspired by The Last Jedi. Wait, you'll like it, I swear. Featuring more neon than a Batman Forever street gang that shows off what's possible when you go all anime, no breaks with the visuals, but still honors the prequel trilogy by having horrible stilted dialogue.
Kyber crystal, such beauty, such power. This energy will be a beacon of hope for the galaxy!
Bravo, Allison Brie. You act. You act as hard as you can. And evil twins.
Yeah, this one was fun, but very, very anime. And definitely like the first of, but maybe most backdoor piloty of the episodes. Where it's like, and now the adventure begins. Credits.
A lot of them were like, hey, this is also the sales presentation of this studio to Disney. Like, first season green light, we're ready to go.
Also, you can just look, Allison Brie obviously does voiceover work. It's not that she doesn't, but like, you can really tell that NPH has been doing a lot of this specific kind of voiceover work for a while. Because Allison's just like, there's no scenery in the studio for me to chew, but I'm gonna find some. She's very much like, oh, you want me to be evil? I'm going to be like the most evil person I can be, you know?
Yeah, this is a real, I don't think we mentioned it, but man, they got some heavy hitters in there for the voice cast for the dubbed version. I feel like this is everybody who like wants to get a foot in the door to be in a live action Star Wars or something like that. Like Henry Golding's in there, Alison Brie, and PH.
I didn't even realize
David Harbour
this.
doing like a Harrison Ford impression.
I didn't even. I was watching.
Him.
I was watching the Japanese version with subtitles, and then I started to see notes come in from the rest of you, and it was like, "Oh, you go, Alison Brie," and I was like, "Wait, there are famous people doing this."
She learned Japanese for this,
so I went back and rewatched them, to write notes for this in the English stuff. So I now see both versions. But they didn't really even advertise they were doing that. That like we're putting a bunch of celebrities on the.
Yeah, like Simu Liu is in it. Like there's an amazing voice cast.
I feel like everyone has at least one famous person. Lucy Liu, we mentioned. Yeah. I did not love this one either. It just felt kind of like it was very colorful, and it was very like this studio. They also did that anime movie Promare, and it's very like neon and flashing and very like assaulting of the senses, and I think that's cool. But I didn't care about this really at all. I thought it was kind of boring.
I liked it that they just went so out there and just kind of, I don't want to say like body horror, but just like very anime with it, that like you can shove a crystal into your body and it like warps you and warps the lightsaber and stuff like that.
Right. She's got that like suit, that like kyber crystal powered nano suit or whatever. I mean, there's some cool ideas. I don't know. This was the point after 2 and then 3, which I wasn't a fan of. I was like, oh no, am I like not gonna like that? They just put the good samurai one first. And then after this, I basically have no more complaints. Like we're off to the races now.
Yeah, I think that the twins is like my least favorite out of all of them.
These two were definitely the low point for me for whatever reason, and from here on,
it's
really
still good.
I liked it. I
don't hate any of them. I think, and like I said, I think there's things to recommend. Like this one, it's an aesthetic and a color palette that you've never seen in Star Wars before, which is really cool.
Yeah. All right, keep playing.
When a village is threatened by raiders. Wait, didn't we see this one already? Oh, different village. Okay. When another village is threatened by raiders, it will take one masterless Jedi teaming up with an anti-masker.
It doesn't suit you, that mask.
To help 2 orphans link their Maginas. Magina. Gina. By slicing up Imperial scum with a katana saber and some sweet tactical high heel shoes. Wait, didn't we see a lady Force user in heels already? Is that so they always have the high ground? Wedding Crashers.
Pause. Who was the anti-masker? I never quite remembered or figured out who that dude was. Because he's not her master, because they were on the planet of her former master. And he's just kind of hanging out.
I read it as he is not a Jedi, but was just somebody else that she knew who was like helping her to stay one step ahead. Following Order 66. Like it was some kind of friend or family friend or mentor, but she's definitely the one with the Force powers, not him.
Yeah,
I was too caught up in like the Final Fantasy-ness of it all, I think.
Totally fun. Yeah, total Final Fantasy vibes of like the Gaia, the Earth spirits, and I like that women get carried around, like they get free piggyback rides everywhere.
Like, okay, I don't know a lot about, I'm very American and didn't finish school. I went to an art school. So like, I don't know a lot about other cultures, but I definitely had a thing where I was like, what do you mean she like can't touch the ground? Like she can't touch, like it was very much like your feet can't get dirty before the wedding. And it's like, oh, like, is that a thing or is that like a Star Wars-y thing? Like, I wasn't sure. And also like, just, I don't know, people are heavy. There's like a whole rig, like a whole system of like levers and pulleys. I'm not sure, but like grown-ups are heavy.
The last anime thing that we watched, not only was the dude carrying the girl around, but she was in a box. So at least this girl gets to breathe fresh air and see the sun. Like I feel like this is a better deal. It's not as good as just walking on your own power, but we're making improvements.
Also, I'm sorry, that whole village sucks. For them to be like, sacrifice your life for this old dude, you young girl.
Yeah. It's not even explored is what's weird. It's like, she's just expected to like, well, look, this is my duty. And it's like, he's like 90. Like, what? Yeah. This is weird.
I think that, again, like, how did they not think of this already, to take of all the lightsaber variations they've done to like just make it into more of a sword? Like, so simple, so genius. I thought that was the coolest lightsaber I've seen in a long ass time.
That shot with the heel, like her shoe kind of like coming off because she's about to do the very like samurai movie, a very cool moment, you know.
I thought as good a duel as you'll see in this a compilation or the movies, and it's really quick. Like it's not a huge thing. It's all the buildup, right, and the anticipation and the character work that they do beforehand that makes it cool. It's not the fact that like she had 9 lightsabers for arms.
Right. I mean, that's like a lot of the sort of like swashbuckling Western movies versus the samurai movies. Like that's what you'll see is like the samurai movies. A lot of the time it's about like the least amount of movement. It's all like circling and preparation and then like the one clean strike. Yeah. Whereas, you know, we're used to that Errol Flynn, like, ha, and you're just like hitting swords over and over again, which is not actually how anybody really
stage combat. You love to see it. Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Witness a short that packs so much world building, imagination, and likable characters into 20 minutes, you won't even care that they ran out of creativity for the names.
Greetings, my name is Ethan.
As a young apprentice gets trapped in a temple full of Sith who wants to steal her custom lightsabers. Even though all you have to do to get one is download the Saber Pass app the week before you go to the planet, then sign up using the Saber Magic system to book your Saber's Vation, so that when you do arrive at the temple, all you need to do is check in, get your Saber Band, log the QR code on Saber Pass, then report to the lightsaber store, add 300 credits to your My Saber account, and get in the 2-hour reserve queue. Simple. My Saber Totoro.
Yeah, pause.
I love how long that goes on. And if we had more time, I'm one of those people who loves when a joke goes so far that it gets irritating and then it gets funny again. I would have loved to have seen us do that for like 2 more minutes.
I don't know. We don't have time. Steps we could have added.
I feel like I could have kept going at least one or two more, but I was like, I think it reads.
Have you guys done that at Disneyland or wherever it is?
No, I haven't been. The last time I was at Disneyland, Cars Land was brand new. Like I went on that Cars ride.
That Cars ride is sick.
It's really good. Yeah, it's really fun. But that was the last. It's been like 8 years or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to, because like when it was first happening, people were like waiting in queues, like you were waiting for a Beyonce concert. And I was like, I don't have, and also like it was too much for my blood at the time. And so now it's one of those things where it's like, I could get in and do it, but it's also like the Rona. So I don't know.
I feel like it's still hard to get into that Rise of the Resistance ride, right? You still have to like make the reservation on the app and get the band or whatever. I don't know. It's like a whole thing now.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I'm old, so it used to just be like, hey, you show up, you get some popcorn, you go on Mr. Phillips. It used to be a very
the line's here,
thing.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Wile E. Coyote says it'll take 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, Indiana Jones seems crowded. You guys want to do Jungle Cruise? Like it was more of a that thing. It was more of a that.
Yeah. But the Ninth Jedi, awesome. A lot of cool lightsaber lore. They're kind of like magic mood rings now. They kind of grow and change based on your affiliation, I guess.
Right.
And I thought this was such a cool setup for. I didn't mind that this one was unresolved, and they're like, well, we got to track down these surviving Jedi and give them their lightsabers so we can all power up together. I thought that was really cool, and like that, it subverted my expectations because it's like, oh, well, this is the world's most obvious trap for these Jedi, but it actually turned out to be the opposite. So
is Margrave is that a title? Is that like who? What is a Margrave?
It's like a viscount.
Okay, right. That's I was like, is he like the Baron? Like
I have no
Margrave? Because they're acting like it's a ceremonial, like, oh, the Margrave.
Oh, actually, look, I just Googled it. It is like a feudal title.
Oh, okay, awesome. I should have just Googled it. That is right.
It's from the Holy Roman Empire. I wonder. We should watch the check. Is it Margrave in the subversion too?
I believe it is, yes, if I remember correctly.
But yeah, it's the medieval title for a commander assigned to maintain the defense of the border of the Holy Roman Empire.
Well, there you go. So it makes a lot of sense that he's like a religious feudal. Yeah, okay, I dig it. This was my favorite one. I thought this was super cool. Amazing amount of world building and explanations kind of baked in, but while you're also having this adventure. And I really love that like tea drinking crotchety old robot.
Funny, that actually funny like, droid.
A really
the opening where it's like the asteroid harvesting, like that's a classic Star Wars movie opening of like you're in space and like they play with your sense of scale, and it was great. They had everything.
So much good stuff in this one. It was awesome. I would watch like the whole. They should let these guys make that series based on this.
Let's do it.
Also, what's his name from Heroes? I missed him.
Hey,
Masioka. Yeah.
Good to have him back. All right, keep playing.
From the team that made Space Dandy.
I want to watch Space Dandy.
All right.
You
Comes
can.
Baby's first Star Wars.
Alone.
About a droid who was built to sit in a small room and do math, but also given feelings of love, boredom, and frustration, because Star Wars loves to remind us that droids are slaves. Your name is Toby. Pinocchio.
Yeah, this might have been my tied for least favorite. I mean, it was just like they were throwing a lot at the wall and going very fast. It was like a children's like flip book of a Star Wars story, and the animation was cool. I did like the style, the change of style, and like the Dr. not Dr. Robotnik. Who's the good one?
Dr. Bright from Mega Man, right?
That's
who
I
was thinking of. Yeah. The opening is just like, wait, did I switch over to Mega Man vision?
Yeah, it seemed like this time they were actually weirdly forcing Star Wars into like a hole where it didn't fit, which is that style of anime. But that's just my preference. What do you guys think?
I liked this one. I think it was cutesy. Again, I just always, okay, if droids can be Jedis, then like that means droids have like souls or something. They are definitely people. So it's just a lot of questions. It just brings
they've
up
opened that can of worms, and the answer is they don't care. Like I think they've answered it enough times that droids are conscious and know what's happening to them and feel pain, and they don't care.
Because that kid has like a whole arc where he's like, I want to be a Jedi, the best Jedi in the universe. I'm like, you stupid little robot. That's never going to happen. And then like,
you don't have midichlorians.
You don't have midichlorians. And then like his dead master is like, you like knights him and is like, you're a Jedi now. And I'm like, well, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Hang on. That's not part of a Jedi's power. You can't just proclaim. They have to pass the trials, right? Is that the whole thing? There's rules, folks. I don't know. At first, like the first few minutes of this, I was like, oh boy, are we doing another? Is he going to start singing Paramore songs? But I don't know. This one really won me over by the end. I really like the character. I like the world. I love the like guy in Darth Vader's outfit, but he has like jaws built into his helmet. So he has like Darth Vader with teeth is like his design. But yeah, it really, this one really won me over in a way I did not expect by the end. I thought it was pretty charming.
Oh, well, I remain uncharmed. But the
animation
beautiful thing.
Is really cool. Like,
you don't have to like them all because it was over so quickly. All right, let's keep going.
From the people who also made the Psycho one about the evil twins comes the Star Warsification of a Clint Eastwood movie, as a salty old Jedi warrior sends his assistant up a dang mountain to face a Sith, while he hangs out at base camp to make sure he didn't double back. That ends with the Jedi pretending to be dead, then ganging up on an old man while they're distracted. This is also supposed to be heroic. Elder abuse.
Yeah, I mean, I dug this one. It was slow. It was by the other short standards, and I thought that David Harbour was doing Harrison Ford. I thought that was.
He's very purposefully doing a Harrison Ford voice,
which was confusing to the point where I'm like,
I was like, Harrison Ford would not do this.
He would
never agree to do this. Yeah,
never.
He's got his plane. He's fine.
I didn't even imagine like
is he
that
fine
phone
in the plane
call.
though?
The rest of the city of Santa Monica and Burbank don't think so.
I was like imagining him getting that call from Kathleen Kennedy, like, "I'm going to do what? Not interested."
I'm coming down.
Being distracted at the vital last moment when he's supposed to be putting his landing gear down. And it's like, Harrison, come on.
I think I hit a bird.
That's the 101. You can't land there.
Don't never tell me the odds. Listen, Kathy.
I'll set this bird down where I want.
I got nothing else to say except this was. I thought they did a nice job developing the Padawan master relationship. You know, he wasn't like a total jerk like Anakin, but he was like a realistic take on like a spunky young Jedi who wanted to prove himself, but he wasn't acting like a complete idiot. And yeah, I thought that was nice. It was a nice story, even though it's grounds that I think Star Wars has definitely trod before. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, because I do like you feel like you've seen this before, but it was very much like this felt more like it was less about the plot and more about like the morality tale of like, you one day are going to be like the master like me. And then one day, the weak become the strong and then the strong become weak again. And like all of that stuff, like it read more like a parable to me than like it was supposed to be about the action and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
it's narratively a little weird because it opens and they're setting up that it's going to be some sort of like a mystery. Like there's something on this planet that's very powerful, but it can't be that old man. And so you're like, oh, is this a red herring? And then it's like, no, it's just the old man.
It's the old man.
So that's a little odd. But once I got past that and it's like, oh, it's not actually a mystery. It's just, like you said, this kind of simple morality tale about, aging and accepting your limitations or whatever. But after that, I thought it was pretty good. And I think the final battle is like neat and like well done.
Yeah.
Not
it's crazy that this was the same studio as the Twins one. I mean, that's
they had to get that out of their system. Like they used up all their pinks. And so they were like, all right.
On to the muted browns.
Yeah, this one more green.
Okay. Cool. Let's is this one the last one?
I think there's two more.
Two more. All right, let's keep going.
Blast off to the Zootopia system for 20 minutes that will delight everyone from anime fans to Star Wars fans to furries. And yes, I'm aware that being a fan of one significantly raises your chances of being the other two in this heartwarming saga of a father having to decide which of his daughters will inherit the family lightsaber, the tiny toon with a heart of gold, or the evil human who uses her own blood as eyeliner. Do you want pink eye? Because that's the other way to get pink eye. Bunny heist.
Judy Hopps, doing her thing, but even though it added like a furry element to it, it was still the kind of Star Wars obsession with bloodlines and dads. So I can also see this totally inspiring another movie trilogy. And then you really don't see too many like alien main characters in Star Wars. It's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was on one hand lame that they ended this with a cliffhanger, but on the other hand, like, okay, I'd watch more of this. You sold me. You sold me on Mustache Dad and Tiny Toon Adventures.
I definitely think it's funny that like he did not give a crap about that kid and about Lop until Lop was like, no, but I agree with you. And he's like, oh, well, now you're my favorite. Oh, cool. You're the one that's not trying to throw droids in the dark side at me. Like, dope. Yeah. I also I love all of the little carrots that Lop had. Lop had so many little symbols that looked like carrots. It was really, it was pretty cute.
But in Star Wars, they're called kurats.
It's space carrots. They're totally different than Earth carrots for space rabbits. It's sort of similar to my feelings on the last one. I think it was this one, the style and the animation and the new take on the Star Wars sort of aesthetic is what carried me through more so than the which kid is the dad going to give the lightsaber to, I didn't get that caught up in the story, but I still thought it was entertaining enough and like looked cool. And we've never.
I thought it was interesting that they kind of explored like the imperial bargain that they make on the planet of like the colonizers of being like, well, we'll bring all this increased prosperity, and they kind of get them indebted and then they kind of turn it into a war zone.
Because they have so many planets. They don't care if yours is like filled with whatever the version of like, a space oil tanker hitting your space ocean. Like they don't care about that. They don't care about that at all.
It's like it comes back to a thing we haven't sort of talked about, which is some of these find really clever ways to like interact with their moment in the universe. Like we mentioned the one with the wedding in the village where like it's definitely set in this moment that we know about where like the Jedi have been sort of wiped out and like they're kind of on the run or whatever. Like some of them didn't bother. They were just like, it's the future. I don't know. There's no more Jedi, whatever. Screw you. But I like the ones that they sort of figured out a cool moment that they could like kind of live in. And here's what's happening in this corner of the galaxy during this famous time.
Yeah, totally. All right. The final one that I will admit I kind of tuned out during. I didn't like this one as much, but let's watch Akakiri.
From still Japan, but with a few pieces of African flair, comes a really annoying road trip across the planet of the tiny mouths in a classic tale of how when a Jedi falls in love, everything turns to Yep, even in anime, they're creepy sexless monks who are only allowed to play with their own lightsabers. literally Star Wars visions. Starring...
Yeah, I think I just hit my anime limit. Like I think when you probably shouldn't watch all 9 of these in a row, and I was just like, oh, another Jedi Sith betrayal, this overwrought love story, and I don't know. This one didn't really do anything for me, but I feel like I should watch it with fresh eyes. Did this do anything for you?
It's not one of my favorites. Like I thought that the whole thing of like he's having these visions about this terrible thing that happens, and it's like a through line throughout this, and then he's helping like the chick that he loves because her sister, they weren't clear, like her aunt or whatever, her giant aunt becomes a Sith and takes over everything, and then oh no, the vision actually happened. Yeah, it definitely, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, but only because I am so over the idea that like these Jedi have to not be human people.
Mm-hmm.
That
set yourself up for failure there. Yeah.
I just think that it's weird because like that's such a, to me, that feels like such a prequel trilogy thing. And it's one of the things I don't like about that. That it's anytime I see that, I'm like, oh great, it's like another story about how if you actually have feelings, everything is bad.
But I mean, yeah, and it does, maybe it doesn't, they don't want to invite this comparison, but I mean, it's true to life that like when you join a religious order, you have to give up like marriage or whatever at the very minimum, if not sex and anything fun.
It's just not fair. Like you get to you have to swap your libido for magic powers. That's like a not fair burden to ask of a 5-year-old.
That's actually what that happens if you stop pleasuring yourself. You are able to shoot lightning out of your fingers and do like 7 flips off of the couch.
Lennox Lewis knows. He was always like, I'm not doing anything until it's time for me to fight.
But then somehow Palpatine had like this whole extended family. Explain that. You can.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
This one was, I don't know. Like I didn't like the character design. I like the world. I enjoyed checking out this like the Wakanda corner of Japan. I thought that was cool. But yeah, like I don't know. They kind of had that like polygonal, like early PlayStation character design, like where it's. I don't know. I don't like their faces. Is a weird thing to say, but yeah, so that kind of kept me from like totally loving this one. I did think it was like a cool, I did not guess that was going to be the ending. And like, I like the sort of final turnabout, and it ends the whole first season on this sort of like dark, weird note, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that not one of my top favorites, mostly because I thought the faces of the characters looked ugly. Also, my complaint about What If. So here you go, Disney animation, getting it done.
Yeah, you want to end with like a big. I thought you wanted to end with a bang. This kind of ended with like, that's kind of a downer. All right, let's see you next year when they do this again.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be more of this. I'm assuming. I don't think we have confirmation yet, but.
They should. I mean, even if it's the same studios. Did they make 2 Animatrixes or just one?
I think there's just one Animatrix.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's a shame. They should just anime everything, I say.
Maybe there's new Matrix movies. Maybe we'll get the next Animatrix as well.
Yeah, give me 9 studios' take on the Frasier reboot. I want to see all those.
One whole story that's just about Eddie. Give it to me.
Finally get to meet Maris. She's a robot.
All right, let's watch Starring.
When you all copied off the same kit for your test.
I got a bad feeling about this.
You have a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You've got a bad feeling about this?
I've got a bad feeling about this.
And more crystal talk than a white girl's apartment.
If you use the power of the Kyber crystal.
The crystal is the core of the lightsaber.
Crystal!
Crystal. Crystal.
Crystal.
Crystal.
Crystal. Crystal.
Starweeb content. Okay, how is there not a short where Luke Skywalker is the principal at a high school for French maids? I figure at least one anime studio would have had that idea.
Yeah, that's just my pitch. If I had a Star Wars vision, it would be Principal Skywalker at the French Maid Academy.
I will say it is weird that none of them, because schools and like that kind of like a bunch of Padawans training together is such a instilled thing in Star Wars. And anime like that, you would think that's the center of the Star Wars anime diagram would be some kind of Teen Jedi Academy or even Teen Sith Academy.
Totally.
Both seem ready-made, and
but
yet
like it's only about like the volleyball clubs at those two schools.
Right? It would be the culinary club. Yeah.
Good times. Well, that was fun. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and keep watching for more things of this nature. This is where we normally play outtakes, but I don't know if we cut anything. So yeah, we did. All right. Well, let's see what that was.
I used to be a Sith, still am, but I used to too. Scary Poppins. Picture me Ronin. Giggs Darklighter. Scott Pilgrim versus the Hutt. How I Met My Brother. Magina Carano. Shogun Wedding. Jiro Dreams of Jedi. Hidden Figure. Astro Boy. The Sorcerer's Padawan. Oldsmobile. Hop and Loco. Who Saved Lop the Rabbit? The Killing Snoke. Vision Quest. And a May the Force be with you.
Well, there you go. That's why they're outtakes, folks.
Yeah. The Killing Snoke is good because it's like one bad day. It all takes tournament into a set. It's just like the Killing Joke, but for Snoke.
Too many layers of nuance for my attention.
Nobody gets me.
All right, on to the chat. Luis Valenzuela asks, how long do you think it'll be before we see some of these Vision characters cameo in the main continuity, if ever? And if you don't think, like, who would you like to see pop up if they don't get their own thing? Just like a little pop in from Toby.
I want Lop.
Where's Ethan? Where's Ethan in all this? No,
hi.
What about Dan?
Ethan's in the distant future, so I don't think that would. There's like long been no Jedi and stuff, so I don't think Ethan would work. I think Lop feels obvious. Yeah,
I think that there's no question that in a Mandalorian season you'll see the Ronin and the droid with the hat like in the background, in a cantina or something like that. I don't know if the timelines work, but I think Favreau will stick that in there somewhere.
I want to see. Look, show me the band all grown up. What are they playing now? How is their style change? Did they go through like a Beatles style change where it's like they started doing a lot of drugs and everything got interesting? Like, where is their pet sounds? Like,
has any band gotten more interesting after being pop punk? I would love to. I don't know if it's happened.
I feel like there's like next year's World Series of pod racing. They're going to be like the halftime show. Like that's the big follow up.
Yeah. That's
mixed. Okay. Have them Watto and Sebulba got to get in there, mix things up with this crew.
All right, this is a good one. Hamid Reza asks, "What's the best job to have in the Star Wars world? Are there any good? I mean, there's only 3 jobs: bounty hunter, Jedi, or droid." Moisture farmer,
droid. You could be a spice miner. You could be a mechanic.
Mechanic doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah, like right. I feel like people who have like trades kind of jobs in villages, like they seem like that's not a bad life. Like the people in Mandalorian who are like the krill farmers before the evil guys show up, like that would be okay.
But the evil guys always show up.
The evil guys do always show. You got to find a Jedi to keep you safe when raiders show up.
And then like a banker, because someone's got to handle the credits, right?
Oh yeah, the Trade Federation, right?
Yeah.
You want to be the part of the Trade Federation?
I would like that. I would also like to be part of the Trade Federation.
Like, are you a crude Asian stereotype? I don't know if this is going to work out.
I just want to help people open up bank accounts. It sounds like a really chill life.
Yeah, we all know I would own a junk shop and have slaves. I was like, ethnically, that's where the Watto like characters reside. You want to make a deal? Very swarthy, a very swarthy animated character.
This might be one for you, Lon. Although you do like animation, but Jeffrey Yelverton asks, I tend to avoid animation, even though I love comics and enjoy drawing myself. Why can't people like me get into animation? And to that, I say you just haven't found your preferred style yet.
Yeah, I love anime.
It's not a genre, it's a medium, and there's so many different types that there's gotta be something, man, right?
I would think so. I mean, like it's hard for a lot of people, especially in America, where we tend to tie animation in a lot of ways to kids entertainment. It's like the cartoons are for children, and I guess now we've got this one other category. It's like cartoons are for children or like stoners. Like there's also the like the adult animation Archer group of shows. But I think for a lot of people, that's like the block is you got to find the stuff that's beyond that. That's just, for everybody, for a general audience. And it certainly is out there. I mean, Miyazaki, I would say, is something, if you don't feel like a lot of other kinds of anime or animated films have spoken to you, check out My Neighbor Totoro or Princess Mononoke or something.
100%. Like, yeah. Those cross all
Spirited Away. One of those.
Well, good times. I'm glad we did this. It was it's kind of now or never, because I wonder if people even think about these in a week from now. But it was fun to watch and fun to write about, and I hope that Star Wars takes more risks. And this proves that they're able to go in different directions, and people like it, because I think we all did. Let's do more. That brings up next week. We'll flip a coin. We'll see what we're gonna do. Either something. I mean, I feel like in one instance we'll be in pretty good shape. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then in the other instance, we're kind of licensed to do whatever we want. Excellent point, Lon. You're spot on with both, and you'll find out what we decided next week here on Honest Trailers Commentaries. Thanks for watching, y'all.
This episode was brought to you by Hulu.